Hello everyone, this is Ross with Market Traders Daily, and this is today's video analysis for January 29, 2020. Today, we're taking a look at the GBPUSD Great British Pound versus the US dollar for today's trade analysis. We do have to note that, of course, today, midday Eastern US time, we have US FOMC information coming up, so you may want to be careful the closer we get to that, just as a side note. As we look here at this currency pair, some interesting things happening here for the pound dollar. Two different trend lines drawn here on the chart. The falling highs along the red trend line. You can see the circles, the red circles, highlighting the highs have been getting lower over the past several weeks, but also the black trend line where the lows have been getting higher. So we have this contracting pattern, consolidating lower highs, higher lows, makes it a little bit more difficult to determine a trend. Is this a downtrend? Or is this an uptrend? And I think we can have opportunity in both directions if we continue to follow both of these trends and trade as close as possible to them. What we're looking for typically is low risk and high reward. Lower risk and high reward doesn't mean there's not going to be any risk. We could sell at the top at the red trend line and it could break right through it and go up. We could buy at the black trend line, it could break right through it and go down. But as it approaches it, we look for clues, price action, evidence that might lead us to a particular direction, either buying on a bounce at the green zone and the black trend line or selling on a break underneath it. Historically, the green zone has been both support and resistance. If you look far, far left, and I'll just try to highlight this a bit with this blue box back here on the left, we had a good bit of resistance into this green zone. Market bounced off it multiple times and went back down, eventually breaking above it, and we have recently seen support around that green shaded area. So that's interesting. 129.80, 129.60 is that green shaded area. So we know there's been historical resistance and support around here. We know that the black trend line's coming on up from the rising lows here. So very interesting. First things first, we talk about this in the trade room just about every day. There's three decisions to make on each currency pair every day. Should we buy it? Should we sell it? Or should we not trade it? That's the three decisions that we have to decide to make on a daily basis. So in this case, as it approaches and gets closer to the green zone, we'll call it 129.80, but could be a little bit above it if you look at the black trend line, somewhere between 1.3 thousand and 1.2980. As it approaches that, I would be more cautious on selling. But I also might consider a buy because historically, in the past couple of weeks, if you would have bought the green zone, it would have been a pretty good idea here, and even yesterday, if you would have bought the pound dollar near 129.80, it was a pretty fruitful opportunity. So that becomes one of our opportunities. As it approaches the green zone, we stop thinking about selling it. Obviously the best place to go short and sell the pound dollar would have been up here at the blue zone, the red trend line, and the red circle. We stop thinking about selling it as it approaches the green zone and think about potential reversal and long opportunities. The only reason we look for new short or sell opportunities is that it breaks through that green zone. So until it does that, we have to be watching for opportunity here at the green zone. 129.8 as close as possible may become a buy opportunity for us with limited risk. Stop loss, of course, will be just underneath this green zone because if it does break through there, we don't want to stay in a long or buy. The purple zone obviously is our current resistance. That's yesterday found resistance there. So far we haven't even challenged it. We've seen resistance there before. So that's our closest resistance. So if we do buy the green zone, that becomes a good first target on the way back up. If we're looking to go short, that's probably your best place to do it. 4-hour time frame doesn't really change any of that. It just gives us a little bit of a different viewpoint of that green zone. We've already seen it down there a couple of 4-hour periods ago, tested there, bounced off of it. It may not look significant, but that bounce, that first bounce here, went up about 45 pips. So again, it could give us some opportunity the closer it gets down towards this green shaded area, targeting back up to the purple shaded area as resistance. Of course, closer to that becomes your short opportunity for the pound dollar today. Just be cautious, use appropriate risk strategies, keep an eye on the news. Of course, as I mentioned, we do have our FOMC information coming up at 2 p.m. Eastern U.S. time today. That may provide some significant volatility here for the pound dollar. Prior to that, we have a couple of things as well. Crude oil inventories, and at 8:30, in about 45 minutes from now, some lower impact news. But definitely watching that. We don't have any significant news coming up the rest of the day for the UK. Tomorrow, of course, we do have significant news for the UK with monetary policy and interest rate info coming out of the UK. But today, the closer it gets to the green zone, I would not sell it or go short. Might consider a long opportunity unless it just rallies back to the purple zone today for the pound dollar.
From Forex Traders Daily, this has been your daily analysis with Ross Mullins. If you would like to get Ross's analysis on all the currency pairs he's watching and all the trades he takes today, join him in his live trade room by clicking on the link below. Please leave any comments you have about today's video in the comments section below.